So if the basic assumption is that men will act right if women act right, if you just cover your shoulders, etc., then men will be able to act right. They cannot act right if you don't do certain things. If you wear a spaghetti strap tank top, a man cannot act right in his thoughts or actions sometimes. It's justified. But that also is like, well, if you act wrong, then a man will act wrong. Is he just reacting then? Is he just a reactive being? Is he not responsible? Is he not actually conscious or aware or choosing? Is he an NPC? I mean, we go down a slippery slope. If someone just can't get control of themselves, if someone just can't love you because, or like show you love, maybe there's a love deep down, but they can't show you love because you didn't act right. It's like, I think that that's a cop-out. And I think that that turns the person who can't, it turns them into just, I mean, like an object to be acted upon, like objectifying themselves, an object. I can't do things. Things happen to me and I react. So it's like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Natural consequences, right? So, you act a certain way toward me and I react, and that's just the natural consequences, and that's how it went, and that's just what you get, because I'm not a person, I'm a machine. I'm a reacting being. I just react. I'm an AI, input in, output out. I just say what the next thing is. I'm just a word predictor, and that's just not the human experience. The human experience is all about change and growth and understanding and learning. If it was just like, well, I just can't, that's just why I was born, it's like, okay, well, we were all born peeing in our pants. Do we ever learn how to not do that? It's like, the human experience is all about learning. So to say that, I'm responsible by my dress is responsible to keep someone else's mind correct, it's like, no. And it's like, oh, you just don't understand, that's just how they are. It's like, no. Is it just how I am? Am I just kind of an angry old biddy? Something happened to me, it was really bad, and I could react. Should I react? Or just let my reactions kind of guide me along, just kind of react. I drop something on my toe, react. I'm just gonna yell. I'm just gonna yell at everyone. That's just my natural reaction. That's just how I am. I was born that way. But are there things that we biologically can't change? It's possible. I think it'd be very few, though. Very few things. Maybe desiring to be a mother as a woman, like having that ingrained desire, just like that feeling. Not that you'd always have it. If you chose not to have kids, you come to terms with it. You logically know it's better, but maybe your body still sometimes tells you, oh, we need a baby, because it's like a bodily reaction. It's like a bodily thing. There for sure could be things like that. There probably are things like that. And then is it our job to overcome them? Is that the natural man, the bodily reactions? Is that the natural man? Are we commissioned to overcome that, to become Christ-like? Did Christ overcome the natural man? Did Jesus rise above it? Was he able to do that? Did he show us the way? Was he like, okay, I did it and it's possible to do. You can do it. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. And what does that mean? Does that mean, I've said this before, does that mean just go along with society, like, be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect? Well, that, a lot of times when we hear that, we just think social norms, you know? Oh, we've got to follow the social norms and be perfect in that. And that's not exactly what that scripture is talking about, I don't think, because all the cultures have different social norms. It would have to be something more universal and not just social norms. Like, the social norm in our society is 1 pair of earrings per woman. Be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Don't wear more than 1 pair of earrings. You know, you don't want to disappoint God. I mean, Jesus died for you. Do you care about Jesus more than you do about the fashion, about your earrings? Don't you care about Jesus? You know, that's not really it, though. It's not really a thing. Jesus doesn't give a crap. That 1 earring rule was a social norm. It was somebody's preference. The person's preference, who it was an acting prophet, acting leader of the church. Was he a prophet indeed? Maybe, but I thought prophecy had to come down the pulpit with, thus saith the Lord, da 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 da. Otherwise, he's acting as a man. That's what I understand. And so if he's just like, yeah, I mean, it seems like you're better off if you wear 1 pair of earrings. But that's not from God. It's not, thus saith the Lord, wear 1 pair of earrings only. There's not a lot of thus saith the Lord's. And personal revelation. We believe in personal revelation, right? So we don't need all these rules. The rules can help us to stay clean looking. And I think, like, my thinking is that rule is to help the image of the church. Because if church members look different than the world, it's like we look wholesome. We look clean. When the world comes to Utah and they see the Mormons, we're clean. We have 1 set of earrings. Our hair looks normal. Our bodies are beautiful. We wear clean, fashionable, but modest clothing. We're not showing off our body. We're not trying to be seen of the world. And so we have a lovely countenance. Our meekness and our countenance shines forth. We have a beauty about us that's different. But then I think it's a bridge too far to say the piercing thing is like to try to control the image even further. Instead of just having a big countenance, it's like, oh, but now we also have to like present ourselves well, you know. And when we go to church, we present ourselves with our best, Sunday best. And I don't think that's all the way bad. I definitely have felt really good wearing my Sunday best and really close to God when I'm focusing on my dress, you know, like keeping myself clean and only wearing 1 set of earrings, and I'm just like clean and pure. But I think I could have that feeling even with a lip ring. Maybe not. Maybe there's something about just knowing you're clean and pure. Like in the temple, you wear all white. It's a different feeling. It's like a symbol. It's like, oh, you know, I love the temple. You go in and just, it's like the weight of the world. It's like all the build up, the layers, the caked on like soap scum and grime, and just everything just kind of falls off when you put on your white dress. You come in your street clothes and you shed the burdens, and it's just, you put on your white dress. Oh, it's so amazing. And everyone in the temple is acting in love. It's amazing. It's the acting in love and combined with the white dress, and just you're shedding off the world. When you shed off the world, you shed off all the judgment also, and you just become loving like in Christ. It's a really good symbolic way of going and being in this beautiful place. Just love. It's symbolic of love. The temple is so beautiful. A lot of people criticize the temple as being worldly. Oh, it's so fancy. How can you have such fancy things? Yeah, you're wasting a lot of money on this. But it's like, it's worth it. The money is worth it because this gives us a place to symbolically go to be in love, to actually be in love, to sustain love without drugs. You're just going in there, you symbolically shed that. You're like, You renew, you put on your new white dress, everything's white, everything's clean, everything's perfect, everything down to your garments, your underwear, your everything, your hair tie. I always make sure my hair tie. And when I buy glasses, when at one point, when I first started going to temple, I had to buy a new pair of glasses, and I made sure to buy a silver pair, or it was gold, just to be sure it's the closest to white, so I could wear them in the temple, because I wanted to wear my glasses in the temple so I could see the happenings, the weird stuff going on, the fun stuff, yeah. I mean, the stuff we're supposed to be focusing on, right? The words, but I think it's also just being in the temple, being in love, and then you're doing stuff, but you're practicing doing it in love. You're doing it, you're understanding it in love. When I go and there's the attendance, there's always someone around to ask a question. I love that about the temple. I love that I'm not looked at in any funny way. I'm looked at with love. When I ask a question, hey, where's the women's dressing room? Or can you please show me where this is? Or I don't know what to do here. They smile at you and look at you with like just pure love of Christ. It's so amazing. It's one of the most amazing places on earth. And it's, yes, worth the money. A shelter from the earth storm, so worth every time. And it wouldn't be the same if it was just some shabby shack or just a gymnasium. Like, why can't we just have it be functional? Why do we need to spend all this money? We should just do it in the gym. No, it won't be the same. It's different. We're visual people. We like the visuals. It helps us to remember love. It helps us to stay in it. It's fine. It's worth the money. And it's clean, and like, oh, why can't they hire? Why can't they have so much money? Why can't they hire it to be clean? Because cleaning the temple is such an act of service. It is a privilege. Everybody wants to clean the temple. I do. It's such a privilege to be able to go and you get to clean this building that's so amazing. And it's clean all the time. It's immaculate. It's so spotlessly white, clean. And you get a chance to go be part of that maintaining. And it maintains you, and it's good for the soul. It's a good experience. And it's like, hiring that done almost seems gross. It's kind of like, if you take pride in your work as a homemaker, you hire it done, it just kind of seems gross. Unless you're really busy and you don't have time, but like, ugh. Or if you have a job. But if that's your whole job, if that was your life's work, or say you're like a pie baker and your life's work is baking pies and you just love pies, and then you hire pies being made, it's like, that's different. That's a different thing. It's not the thing. Like, it's not the love. It's not the thing that you love. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense to hire it done. It makes sense that the church uses volunteers. Everyone criticizes that, like, it's such a bad thing. Like, the church just gets slave labor, these volunteers, and they have all this money. It's like, yeah, because we want to spend the money on something else. We don't want to spend the money on cleaning the building. We'll clean the building. We'll maintain our own stuff. We like that. We like to help. We're peculiar people. We actually like helping, and we like working, and we like serving. Serving feels good. I love serving in the church. I love fellowshipping. I love going to church on a Saturday, cleaning the building with my fellow brothers and sisters, with another group or another family who's there. It's amazing. It's fun. It's a great experience. You feel connected, and that brotherhood and compassion. It's sisterhood, sisterhood, familiahood. I don't know. It's a nice thing. And everybody does it. Nobody's above cleaning the church. The bishop cleans the church. Everyone cleans the church. And usually, and it's like, oh, the leadership doesn't have to clean. They do. The leadership are usually the ones, like, left holding the bag. If the members don't step up and clean, because maybe people are busy or lazy or whatever, people don't catch the vision. There are certain families in the world who step it up and do the lion's share. There's always the families who are more active, more involved. It's just that feeling of love. It's like, they get it, they understand. Like, but then it can be a lot. It could be a burden too. Maybe the burden is the blessing. I don't know. I don't really know. In the last couple of years, we've fallen away, and it's become a burden. It's felt like a burden. Visiting teaching has felt like a burden, and cleaning has been a burden. It's like, oh, why can't they just hire? It's been stressfully burdened is, it's unfortunate. And I haven't been to the temple for 6 years. You know, Mormons, they do a really great thing. They have a really great thing going. A little weird, a little culty. The culture's a bit isolated. We have a little culty feel. And like the secrecy of the temple and stuff. That's just to keep it good. It keeps it unspotted. It keeps it pure somehow. Like if everybody just goes, it's just going to be another thing in the world. It's just like another amusement, another entertainment or something. It's a different thing. We like to keep it sacred. And that's what they say. It's sacred, not secret. And it is. We keep things sacred. There are things that are so sacred we don't talk about it. Because they're so impactful. It's something that hits you so hard in your life, and it's just, you don't really want to go sharing that and soiling it up with the world, like getting it all crusty. Getting all these judgments passed on it, that's not correct. And it makes you have doubts, and it just kind of ruins it, you know? But, I mean, you don't have to let it have doubts, but I just think, I don't know, showing that stuff. Criticizing that stuff is just so gut-wrenching. It just feels like, ugh, like squeezing my guts. Like, wow, that's, I don't know, makes me want to cry. Temple really is a beautiful place. The Mormons really do good things. Sometimes it can be tedious, and I feel like it's when we get into the vain repetition kind of stuff, and it just becomes like our service is vain repetitions. It's kind of, we lost the vision, you know. We could just get the vision back though. I don't know. Alright, so I'm pulling in. I go to the dentist today.